on Curiosity Stream. He allows them their riches.
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
In exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimated.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Podcast on the way. We'll sit and spin. I'd say we'll get back in time. Not really, but the top 10 songs of 2021, according to Rolling Stone magazine. Oh, boy. That's on the way after emails on our question, and that's what I realized blank wasn't for me anymore. You guys have anything that's with food? Anything with food where you realize, you know what, man, I think I'm past it.
Just the heartburn
the spicy stuff.
And there's nothing important about it, but you reflect on these childhood things you thought were so great. It was like 10, 15 years ago, but I see a Twinkie at the store. I'm like, ooh, I used to love Twinkies as a kid. I'm like, I'm going to get me a Twinkie. It was horrible.
Yeah,
I'm sure they haven't changed the recipe, but I'm like, this is the worst piece of ass I've put in my mouth in a while. Yeah,
there's a bunch of things that I just remember being a kid, really enjoying them. And I've made a couple of those things since then in my adult life, like chopped up hot dogs and baked beans, right? Okay. And then you cook. Okay, this was
Franks
not as
and beans.
Yeah,
beans and Franks.
Beans and Franks, not as bad as I remember it being. I'll do
the beans over the Frank.
Top ramen. Okay, that's one of those where I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. The last one I
do you use top ramen just as top ramen, or do you use it as an additive to something?
I made a bowl of soup with it.
Right.
Yes. It was great.
I had some in 2019.
Okay, but probably two or 3 weeks ago, I went to the grocery store, might have been a little stoned. I'm looking for a pizza, and all of a sudden I see those little mini pizza bagels. Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember those?
Oh, yeah.
They're smaller. They're not really the size of a bagel. They're like a little mini bagel, right?
Yeah.
But they do pizza on them. So I picked those up. That was the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life. I was like, I used to live on those things. I loved them. They were the best thing ever. Same with what was the other one I did where I was like, this is not as good as I remember. It was not bad, but it's the Chef Boyardee in a box pizza kit. All right.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right.
Where you make the dough, you mix it with the warm water. If you say that's rising, whatever. I'm never that patient with it though. But I'm telling you what, it was another one of those things where like those nights when I was growing up were like, oh my God, the green boxes on the counter.
It's great. It's
pepperoni.
Dude, I'm with you. We had them as kids too. I would say overall, like just canned spaghetti and meatballs don't hold up.
No, they really don't, man. But right as a kid,
kind of Chef Boyardee product, is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, like, I should know better. I feel like I still give beefaroni some run, but yeah, I'm with you. It's like, I don't know, once a year, you're just like, you know what, I'm going to get this.
Yeah. So you guys are going to hate me for this, but Kraft macaroni and cheese, man.
I love Kraft macaroni and cheese.
I can't. Like, as a kid, it was awesome. And since I've had kids, I just come back and
really?
Yeah, I grabbed a
box yesterday.
Oh, my God. I'm what?
That is still a tolerable food item.
No.
Where I'm kind of, Spam is not really my jam anymore so much. I used to be able to eat Spam a lot more. It's just so salty. I forget how salty that crap is.
It is.
Well, here we go.
But look, I bought for the holidays, I went down and bought like a whole thing of pork roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Taylor ham. So it's not pre-sliced. I'm going to slice it up. So I have a buddy over and I'm all fired up. So, man, I'm making breakfast sandwiches. First of all, it's almost 11. He's like, you said you were making sandwiches at 9. I said, calm down.
Yeah.
Fine. Go Terps. But I made it and I was like, what do you think of the Taylor ham, the pork roll? And he goes, it's like fancy Spam.
Yeah, it is.
You're not wrong, but don't say that
to me. It's not the worst thing in the world. Well, here's an idea of a way to try foods, maybe not take in the calories. A Japanese professor He has created a prototype lickable TV screen that can reportedly imitate the taste of various foods. Dubbed Taste the TV, the prototype was developed by a professor at a prestigious university in Japan as a step toward a true multi-sensory viewing experience. The device uses a carousel of 10 flavor canisters that are sprayed in combination to create the taste of a particular food. So the cocktail then rolls into film over a flat TV screen. The viewer can sample it, and he believes the technology can help people connect and interact over long distances and try different foods around the world.
Okay, so I'm watching, Chopped, all right? You're watching Chopped, and you got 3 contestants, and they get whatever the hell is in their basket, and they present, all right? Mm-hmm. So one of the chefs is like, ooh, I really like this one, I like the sauce. Like, in theory, I can program this in, and I can go up and I can lick my TV and taste, essentially, the flavors of what it is this person created.
Or you can also smell them. So, in other words, if you have a Pizza Hut commercial, right?
Okay.
It'll try to emulate the smell of a hot, fresh Pizza Hut pizza. So the experience that you're going to have is that when you're watching it, you can taste it. But with the sensory device that sprays, you can also smell it. So, in theory, if a McDonald's commercial comes on and they're showing you the hot, delicious French fries, you'll be able to not only taste it, but to smell it in the area.
I mean, it's hard enough to pass up those commercials as it is.
Exactly.
If I can smell it, I'm going to order it every time.
But would you lick it? Certain commercials,
I'd rather lick it than smell it.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Man, yes. Take that any way you'd like.
You can try a Baconator. Say if you live in, I don't know, Mozambique or wherever the hell you are.
It's not about who is it Chipotle with the vegetarian chorizo or something?
Oh, yeah.
And it is Chipotle. Okay, because they've been pushing that hard, and it looks good. And
it is good.
I'm sure it tastes fine, but I'm looking at it because you know me. I got my arms folded like, well, it's not chorizo if it's not meat. But I digress. But as they show the commercial, I'm like, okay. It looks good, but if you're telling me, like, and I can pause that thing and my TV recreates it, like, I'm going to try this, right? And I lick my screen, and I'm like, that is some damn fine.
You're not going to taste the actual substitute. What you're going to taste is the flavors that go into making chorizo sausage. So in that instance, it might
just taste like chorizo.
It's going to taste like the flavor that goes into chorizo. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be.
It won't be Chipotle's vegetarian chorizo.
And to be honest with you, that ground fake meat stuff isn't the worst in the world.
It's not.
I made sloppy joes with it. I made some tacos with it.
Right, but like the fake sausages are the best because the fake bratwurst. In the end, bratwurst I like because of the flavor the most. Like the spices.
To make it possible for people to have the experience of something like eating in a restaurant on the other side of the world, even while staying at home. As goofy as the idea of a clickable TV screen may sound, he is convinced that it's part of humanity's future. He envisions a world where people are able to download flavors they see on TV and have them recreated by the flavor canister carousel. And he also hopes to create a platform where tastes from around the world, they can be downloaded and sampled by different viewers.
I think where he's missing the boat is this, right? So they have like 3D printers and stuff, and they're coming up with fake meats and all that. I'd be more apt to have like a food 3D printer at home, right? And I know it's not the actual food, but whether it's vegetable-based, protein-based, fat-based, whatever it's going to be, your flavor canisters, and I'm watching, again, we'll go back to Chopped, you know what I mean? Like, recreate me a meringue as best you can. Like, I'd be more apt to try that than I would be to be like, hey, babe, hit pause, I'm going to go lick the TV. There's just something about that just seems too undignified.
Yeah,
like, Miles, come here, dude. Lick the screen.
I'll taste it, but there are certain things that I go through phases on, and then eventually I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to what I know to be true. So, get a cup of coffee this morning. I have gone through the coconut milk phase of putting coconut milk in my coffee. Mm-hmm. I've gone through the almond milk phase of putting almond milk in my coffee. All to avoid creamer for whatever reason. I have no idea. This is a stupid.
I was going to ask, why are you trying to avoid creamer?
Then I tried oat milk. You know what I mean? For probably a year.
Oat milk's.
Which is not the greatest thing in the world.
It does not taste very well.
Almond milk I actually like. Like, I like the taste of it. So if you said that's our substitute, no health reason, like, cool.
So now I'm back to just that carnation, French vanilla, big thing with a blue cap on it. You know what I mean? And my coffee tastes fine. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to drink what I like.
Those things are shockingly good.
They are. But sometimes you realize you prefer the artificial taste of something, right? In a certain, like, you might like bananas.
Right.
But artificial flavored banana tastes the same everywhere. And while none of it tastes like bananas, you still cut. So if you get a banana now and later, right? It does not taste like a banana, but there's still something about artificial banana that you like. So if it's a creamer, like, I know it's not made with real banana, but I like that artificial banana taste.
I'll drink my coffee black before I'll put in the powdered creamer. That you could get at a gas station or a truck stop or whatever. I mean, and I know, Mike, that you like Folgers. Believe it or not, I swear to God, there'll be a day where Folgers, Crystals, and they just don't jive anymore. I don't know what happens. I
disagree. Mike is going to be Folgers until Mike dies.
All right.
You think so?
But nothing to cheer about, bro. I mean, this is not an upsell, but
Sometimes I treat myself with a Dunkin' Donuts Crystals.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I mean, hell, I give anything a try. That's what I'm saying. But I just think instant coffee. Living in Seattle, I mean, could you imagine going to a place like, we have instant coffee? You'd be like, what? What the hell's that?
I feel like I can deal with the instant coffee better than I can with the powdered creamers.
It's still the same.
Because the powdered creamer leaves a weird taste, whereas when I drink instant coffee, I'm like, this is just crap.
Right, instant coffee just is what it is. And you've accepted that so you can drink it. Where I feel like creamer, it's like I'm adding this weird thing to an otherwise fairly decent cup of coffee, right?
It's not the worst, it's probably a drip coffee. But then you're putting in that powdered stuff, and it's just that used to be the kind of stuff they'd stick in our office when I worked at other places. Here's your creamer, here's your sugar, here's your crappy styrofoam cup, and your instant coffee, which comes out of it basically look like a coffee vending machine,
right?
That you would find at a truck stop. And I used to eat that or drink that stuff all the time, especially any job I've ever had was free coffee.
But you're living different too. You know what I mean? You're living.
What I'm saying is, I'm done with it. I'm just not going back. You know what I mean? I did my time with it. I'm not doing it anymore. Well, I'm not no oat milk, no powdered crap, no any of that.
Stick with your creamer.
Exactly. Just going with the basic French vanilla. It's maybe a hazelnut. I don't know. Might get crazy every once in a while. Sometimes they have some specialty flavors.
We have the coffee maker thing here.
Correct.
We get latte, this kind of thing, whatever. I've gotten 3 drinks from there since we've been here, and now I get drinks because you know me, man. The closer it is to a dessert, the more likely I am to give this thing a try. You get you just get coffee from there, right?
I get 3 shots of espresso and make it an Americano.
And you do this pretty religiously 5 days a week.
Sure.
And you have not one time said this is a good cup of coffee.
No.
Not what? Why?
I don't know. Because it's not about cost efficiency.
You don't have
it's just
to do
here.
It. I know, but it doesn't mean, but you don't like it.
I'm weird with coffee. I love coffee. And sometimes I'll get a fancy, but also I'm just I'll drink bad coffee too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier today. When I have time off, sometimes on the weekend, I'll be it'll be 1. I'm like, I don't feel as awake as I usually do. We forgot to get coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
My kid had his first sip of coffee over the Christmas break there as I am drinking it in the morning. And he's like, you drink this every morning. I don't tell him when you and your sister go to bed, I'm crushing beer. But I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you like it? I said, well, sure, man. He goes, do you mind if I try it? Because it smelled good to him because I put a creamer in. I said, okay. It's going to taste bitter. He goes, what does bitter mean? I said, you're about to find out. He took 1 sip. The look on his face said he might not drink coffee again for 10 years.
No, I won't. It's not something that the kids acquire. It's not a taste. There's certain tastes, I think, that you just can't handle after a certain period of time. And I know it's going to cause people to just flip me a bunch of crap, but I don't care. I've gotten to the point now where I've drank so much light beer lately.
All right.
When I drink anything over a pale ale, I almost cannot drink it. I accidentally had an IPA poured for me the other day.
All right.
And I took a sip of it and I'm like, oh, God, I cannot drink this.
Really?
It kills all the taste buds in my mouth. I can't taste anything after that. You know what I mean? I was there to get food, but you know what I mean? At the same point in time, I get a beer, sit down. It's the wrong beer. That's fine. It's just I realized and I drank IPAs for 10 years. I mean,
you were big into it.
If you knew, if there was an IPA out there, I'd try it.
Sure.
I'd buy it. I was all in. I don't know what the hell happened. It was just a switch that flipped and I'm not doing this anymore. Plus the fact it was probably 15 more pounds than I have on my body right now.
I was going to say, probably just golfing.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
I just don't like the taste of it.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, before I really liked the taste,
man.
and now I'm just I don't really like the. They're great to cook with. They're great to put into chili and all that stuff. I have no problem having them in my home if guests come over and everything else. It's just it's not my preferred beer anymore.
Huh.
Which is a weird, thing because seriously, 10 years. I mean, if I went someplace, easily a 3 IPA night.
I mean, I don't want to say I don't like light beer because that's not a fair statement, but I much prefer a heavier beer to a light beer. So right now, my fridge downstairs, Ted, to be happy, more than 1 beer. Nice. Mostly Pacifico.
Which I drank a lot this past week.
But it always takes longer for that to go. So my wife's always like, man, you're not drinking this much beer. And it's I don't love it. You know what I mean? If I'm drinking a Pacifico, I just want a beer. Anytime I have a darker beer, I want that beer. And then I end up drinking a ton of them. And having a rough night and a horrible morning. But
yeah, I mean, if it's 90 degrees and you're sitting out by a pool, Pacifico is the best beer you'll ever have in your life. It's situational. You know, I mean, you never get like this peanut butter chocolate porter's great. It's just not the right beer for that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I go back. Mainly, I drink light beer, but there is certain times where I'm like, no, like I want a couple IPAs.
I just don't like the taste. I don't know what the hell.
But I struggle with like stouts. Again, like outside of Guinness. But some people really love them, and they're like super heavy. And my big thing is syrupy. I just don't like things that aren't maple syrup. That to me
coat your tongue.
Yeah, that are like, you know what I mean, kind of syrupy. You're like, that's not right.
But see, that's the thing with Guinness. You know, for years I never wanted to try Guinness because you couldn't see through the other side.
I think it's a very light beer. I think it's great.
It's an exceptionally light beer. I mean, it's not a light bear, but I mean,
the way it drinks.
Yeah, you're like, this is not nearly as heavy as I thought it'd be at all.
No, I'm fine with that. I could drink a ton of those. Our question, and that's when I realized blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, someone here says, Miles, try a New England IPA. The bitterness is less than the American style.
A New England style.
But aren't they going to be all cloudy and stuff?
See, that I don't like the cloudy IPAs. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Whatever you want to call it. But with the Tropic Haze, I will crush those.
Oh, I will say, this is a hazy beer, though. I can still drink a Hefeweizen. It does not kill my palate.
I don't love Hefs, man.
I mean, and that's how I kind of got introduced into craft beer in the first place. Like, that was the introduction.
The gateway, yeah.
That was the one where I was like, all right, you know, this is not so bad. And then, you know, at that point in time, like, Blue Moon was popular as far as a national beer. I don't either, but like Shock Top and some of the others.
Not like Shock Top.
We're kind of in that realm of beers, you know what I mean? We're
the best thing about Shock Top
you're not getting any help with anything close to a half with Thrill It On.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
I have a buddy, I gave one buddy a hard time. I was like, what is with you and these effing Blue Moons? Because sometimes it'd be later at night. He's like, I got a cooler full of beer. And I'm like, it's only that Blue Moon
I know,
stuff.
it's disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the next morning, I'm getting up, and I'm like, I just don't like it. It tastes fruity. And I'm cracking open High Lives and pouring in a little bit of orange juice. And he goes, how is that different than the Blue Moon?
It isn't.
Mine is more ghetto.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized blank was not for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
I'm just over here being healthy.
Hello, Willie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, Bichola.
Hola.
Willie?
Yeah, absolutely. IPA. Man, I was a big fan. Started off at Portland, Oregon, drinking them, loving the IPAs, experimenting with all the hazies and yeah. And then Eugene, Oregon, there's a Hop Valley in Eugene, Oregon. They've got IBUs, you know, your meter, your gauge of IBUs, and, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80. They've got an IBUs of 100 with a plus symbol after it. You don't even know. It's 100 and something. And they call it a palate wrecker, and it ruined me. Can't drink the IPAs anymore. Anything over 25 IBUs. The palate wrecker ruined me.
What is it? Just if I look at IBUs, but if I look at IBUs,
right, it burns your tongue off, man.
So, what is the IBU? If I'm looking at that, what is my mouth going to experience? Not necessarily the taste, but my mouth.
That's the international bitter units.
Okay.
Oh, trust me, I drank every beer that came out of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Every beer that I could find that came out of Washington. I mean, I love the taste of the IPAs then, and I would try every single thing out there. Just anymore, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. It was like, maybe I got COVID and didn't know it, but like just the taste of the beer is just really, really weird. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like my tongue changed or something.
I mean, I will say this. If you're gonna ruin a beer, I feel like IPAs lend themselves more to the possibility. Where light beers, they all kind of stay in the same general zone, or they're very open about like this one has a fruit tint or something like that. But I don't experiment too much with IPAs because I look at some things and I'm like, okay, if you need that much description to tell me what's going to go into my mouth,
right,
I'm not going to try it. Make it malty or make it hoppy, I'm in. Once you go fruity, I cannot stand the taste of fruit in my beer. I don't know why that is. If you put fruit in my beer, like I instantly hate it. Even when you go to a place and they jam the lime, you know, Corona's a little different. Corona, I believe, is built for that specifically. But when they jam the lime in, I'm like, God damn it, man. You know what I mean? Because I can just taste it. I'll pull the lime out, but I mean, I can feel it on my mouth when I'm drinking. It's like you ruined this beer for me.
Well, you don't have to
just put it on the side.
Here's what it is. If you have to describe the beer on the label, probably not for me. If this is some type of hops from this area or this and that combined with a mix of this. If I get a Miller High Life, you know this, it's a champagne of beers. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, but most of them, like Miller Lite's still going to say a true Pilsner.
Right,
brew,
exactly. But at the same time, like if they start getting real descriptive and there's a paragraph.
You can't go 100% against them. You were an IPA guy.
I know, but I just don't like them anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like if I know there's a description on the beer label, I'm like, I'm out.
I think the biggest thing for me with IPAs, it just got a little too much like wine.
As far as the snootiness of it?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like anything, like I understand that you understand the beer you're drinking. I just like it. I don't need to have a conversation about the complexity. Like, I just like it. Why can't that be good enough?
Oh, yeah.
And you're right. The world of IPA, like, dude, just let people like it. Whatever the process, it's like weed.
Those are a couple
you
of
can tell me what you did with it. I don't care. I just enjoy. I don't care how you make your sausage. I don't care about the behind the scenes of this movie. Like, sometimes you just want to enjoy the thing in front of you.
Half cider and half lager is a big drink, like in England, right? People drink it all the time. So I was at a brewery, and I was like, yeah, you know what, just do half and half. And they're like, no. Oh, no, man. It's all right. Just half cider, then lager on top. And they're like, no, we want our beer to stand on its own. Like, okay, like I got to be here for a couple hours. So I'm going to let this go. I have never stepped foot in there again.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
There's another brewery right down the street that they were like, this is frickin' genius, Ted. Where'd you come up with this? Like, I didn't. It's English.
Yeah.
But just like, right.
What you should have told them is, I went to England and introduced it to my British friends.
Yeah,
now it's
right?
all the rage.
Like, this hamburger to taste the meat, not the cheese and this bacon you put on top. Like, I'm ordering that.
Right.
I don't care what the hell I want.
Right, like, I'm that way with barbecue, right? Like, I always want to try the meat first, and then I'll add sauce. But if I'm at a barbecue joint, I say, just put the sauce on there. Well, go ahead, throw it on.
Yeah, I'm cool.
And that's when I realized that blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Alec. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
That was satisfying. Thanks. So basically, for me, it was weed. I smoked it fairly decent amount, like kind of regularly in like middle school, and then I did my first ever bong hit. And it just did not hit me good. I was just spacing out, having a bad high, and my friend like came to check up on me, screwed me with squirt guns. He thought that'd be fun, and it touched my whole system. I ended up like throwing up all over the place, like clogged this girl's house. I was at a clogged her jacuzzi. It was a whole
clogged the jacuzzi with your vomit.
Unpleasant. Yeah, because I like crawled into her bath because I knew I was going to throw up.
Yeah.
I crawled in there. Threw up in the jacuzzi, and like it gets clogged up in all of our Drano. I ended up having to bag it up. I ended up grabbing a sack, bagging it, and dumping it in the toilet. It was just.
Hey, look, and not only that, but if you've been drinking, and you're someone who's like, I'm finally going to try weed now that I'm it is the worst decision that someone can make who is not really a regular smoker, because when they get to that point where they've let their guard down enough to like, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yeah,
that's not the right time to try it.
It's really not.
You know what I'm saying?
Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah.
Not the right
As
time.
a matter of fact, that is really sound advice, Miles.
It is. You know what? I think a lot of people should follow that lead.
Yeah. And don't pressure others.
Yeah. Who would do that? God. And that's when I realized that blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick, they even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of Cholos, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you had been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room is in progress.
My question, it's a Men's Room fill in the blanker, and that's when I realized the blank was not for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Robert. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Cholas.
Hola.
So, hallucinogenics are not for me.
All of them? Anyone specifically?
Shrooms, definitely. I had a group of buddies that kind of growing up I'd smoke weed with, and we always generally have a good time partying and stuff. But one weekend they asked me, hey, would you like to try some mushrooms? I figured, yeah, okay. Well, I always had a good time with them. They never led me astray. And we all got over to a buddy's house, and we were drinking orange juice with them. And he's like, oh, this will make it even better. And I didn't know enough at the time. Like, all right, cool. And for the first 3 hours, things were going great. I mean, everything was funny. It was like being stoned, but times 10. And then the TV started coming out at me, and faces started shifting, and the good time kind of went away. I remember looking at a buddy. I'm like, okay, I got to use the bathroom. And I went to go pee, and I swear my urine was neon pink that was coming out. And I just started, from that point on, I just started tripping out. I couldn't handle it anymore.
I've been there. I'm right there with you. Same drug, same thing. My problem was this. Most of the people that I know, they ate most of the bag of mushrooms. There was like one pretty decent-sized mushroom in the corner of the bag. But the bag had like a corner of just mushroom dust in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eat the mushroom, eat the dust. I mean, within 2 hours, I'm just like, this is the worst decision I've made in my life. Like this, I am not enjoying this at any point in time. This is horrible. I just want to get off this roller coaster. And I couldn't. You know what I mean? I'm locked in. I gotta ride it. And I just said, hey, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore.
I asked a buddy to like, hey, I got to get home. Maybe if I go home, I'll be in like my comfort zone. And I was in the back seat, and trees were just crazy shapes. I remember I got home, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay in bed, and hopefully this will wear off. And I look at my blinds, and my blinds turned to bars. And I thought I was in jail for a second. I'm like, oh my God, how did I get in jail? I swear I was, just on the way home, and now I'm in jail. I mean, at one point I kind of curled up and did the, please someone make this go away, and I'll be a good boy from now on.
Did you ever just decide to close your eyes? Because so far, look, I love shrooms. I think they're fantastic. Granted, I have not had a bad trip. All of my trips is like going to Disney World every time. But it seems to me that everything you looked at went south. So I'd at least say, stop looking at anything.
But you're trying to figure out reality. So, like, you're looking around just trying to piece just basic things together. Like, if I have to go to the bathroom, where is it?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like you just get up, just go to the bathroom like you normally would. Like, it's like 8 feet.
Right.
It's a massive
Should I crawl? You know what I mean? Sure. That was my problem. Like, it wasn't even just like, it's just basic thoughts like, do I have to poop? Is this a stomach ache? What is going on?
I've always enjoyed it though, man. I really, the weirdest trip I had, and it could have gone south, it just didn't. But I was with my buddy Leon, and we're doing acid. And of course, I don't know what it is. I swear to God, you could be in the middle of Manhattan, all right? And somehow when you drop acid, you find a way to get into the woods. Right? I mean, like, you could be in the middle of the Gobi Desert, and somehow, if you drop acid, like, you will find this weird oasis. It's going to have 8 trees, and that's where you're going. So we're walking through a wooded area, not the woods, but walking through a wooded area. And I'd always remember this. There was a white oak tree. This is at night. So it definitely shows up versus the other trees. No big deal. But as we're walking by it, in my mind, picture you're walking by someone who's standing still. And when you walk by them, they put their finger up to the mouth to shush you, but they kind of lean into it like, shh. And I say to myself, okay, that was exceptionally weird, but I know that I'm tripping on acid, so I'm going to let it go. I don't say anything. About 5 minutes goes by. We kind of stop to pause for a second. My buddy Leon, and this is the part that freaked me out. He looks at me and he goes, man, remember that white oak back there?
Yeah.
So this is already like, I don't like this. Like, what about it? He's like, I swear to God, that thing shushed me. And I'm like, no, because it did it to me too. So either we're having a group hallucination or that goddamn white oak is telling us to shut the hell up. And it's not like we're making any noise. But then we decided, you know what? I'm going to have fun with this. So now we realize we're staring at it. We go back. We're just staring at this thing to see if it does anything. It didn't. It did nothing else after that.
Went back.
Yeah, this is not going to be a popular opinion anyway, but I don't care. Because half the time I was on hallucinogens, I was camping. And I think if someone said, hey, would you like to go camping for like 2 or 3 days? We're going to this place. You know, like, okay, well, what kind of camping are we talking about here? Do I pitch a tent? Because if I'm in a tent, in a sleeping bag, on a pad, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm like, I'm out. I'll get rained on. I'll get wet. I'll be miserable. And then I'll be tripping on something. And you know, it'll be cold. And it sucks. And I'm just not doing it anymore. Like, if you have an RV, I know you're going to sleep in it, but I need my own place to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. It's just like, it's not enjoyable. I'd rather be home and showered and on my couch. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's no fun. Well, camping isn't really fun for me anymore. You know, like if you're out hiking, that's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because you're going from destination to destination, trying to right. Like, as long as you're moving, I can work in that realm. But just the idea of like not being able to, I don't know, put down the back of a truck, you know, thing and like just, I don't know, grill or I don't know, pull out a keg or you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, camping is just, it just doesn't have the same appeal as when I was a kid. I loved it. I mean, that was as a kid every weekend.
But as an adult too, like you can go to camping spots. Your car's not that far away, but you're still in the wilderness. You're on like a river,
right? Yeah, I'm talking.
But I mean, most people that say they like camping, they're not talking about humping their gear in and humping it out.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. What you do after you set up. Somebody here, they like me, they went to see the new Spider-Man movie, and they said, look, long story short, they started tripping, decided to see Spider-Man. Everything was fine, but they point out one truth, and I agree with this. They said, look, I'm watching the movie, it's fine, it's fun, but Willem Dafoe shows up in this movie. And they said, not him as Green Goblin, just looking at Willem Dafoe when you're tripping is a really bad thing.
In any stage of his life, even when he's younger, like in Platoon.
That's what I mean.
You look at him, you're like, oh, God.
And that's what I mean. Like, I was not tripping, and I went to see the movie. I'm there with the kids, and like when he shows up, and it sounds bad because he is a fantastic actor. He really is.
He's a strange dude.
But I don't think to myself when he's on screen, like, how do you end up looking like this? Right? I mean, like, what is the problem? It can't just be natural childbirth, right? There's no way. Because even if a doctor came up to me and said, oh, your wife is pregnant, and there's a 1 in a million chance your kid could look like Willem Dafoe, I'd be like, we can't do this. I don't want that. I've never seen his parents. I'm curious to know what they look like, or if he has a brother. I don't understand how and why Willem Dafoe looks the way he looks, and I cannot imagine looking at him when I'm tripping. But
was he the Green Goblin?
Yeah, but most of the time he's not.
It's just him.
It's just him, but I think, and I honestly mean this, if someone broke in my house and they're dressed like the Green Goblin, obviously it's going to be a little alarming, but I'd also think, this guy's a jackass. He's trying to scare you, like Halloween, so I don't feel as uncomfortable. This guy's going over the top trying to say, if Willem Dafoe broke into my house, under the same circumstance, it's like, give me your money. Like, dude, you can take anything you want. Like, because you as a human being looks creepy. Green Goblin's a costume. There's nothing to that. But Willem Dafoe, to look at him, I cannot. Now I'm curious. I might just eat shrooms and stare to picture him and where my mind goes.
Okay. Adult Halloween parties. Bringing up Halloween.
They're fine because all I do is any party. Okay. I just drink, get high again, do all that stuff. I mean, I'm not big on dressing up. People
that's my problem. Right there.
But I think what happened is this. I think it's our generation likes dressing up more than most generations like dressing up, right? So the kids, they get kind of excited about the idea. But, you know, for my daughter, it's purely the candy standpoint. And she understands, I will dress up because this is how I get candy. She's all about that cheddar, right? My son, it's like he doesn't care if he gets candy or not. He likes to dress up. He's 9. I understand. There's something in our generation where I'm like, we're like between 40 and 60 years old. People are like, I'm dressing the hell up.
I just want Reese cups.
Yeah.
That's my only MO. Just give me some Reese cups. I'm good.
I like adult Halloween parties, but I go to a good one every year that's thrown by a certain group. But they're also, like my festival friends.
So basically,
they already have, like, I have a costume.
You do Halloween
band.
when it's not Halloween.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not hard. Like, I was somewhere New Year's Eve, and you know, like the little glow sticks that you connect to make bracelets. And, and somebody's like, oh, I got these for the kids. You're really good at this. Like, I got a lot. I hang out with a lot of festival people. Like, give me one more, by the way. I need to make mine bigger.
And that's when I realized blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
Yeah, so what I realized wasn't for me anymore was probably cocaine.
Cocaine.
What was the moment?
Just a lot of money. That was about all, and it just, my friend OD'd, and that was one thing, but
okay, that goes a long way.
That was kind of a wake-up call.
How long after your friend OD'd did you decide to put it away?
That same day.
Okay. All right. Well, you get some people.
One time.
How long ago has that been?
2 years.
Okay.
Do you think you'd still be doing it if your friend had survived?
No, it was just costing too much money, and at one point I was sitting at the Edmonds ferry terminal, and I was waiting for about 2.5 hours for the guy to show up, and he showed up, and he said his excuse for being so late is he had a super glue that cracked in his tires. And he was going down I-5 and his air started leaking, so he put super glue in all of his tires. And that's when I went, man, this is a fun activity, but I don't want to end up like this guy.
Yeah.
How do you sell cocaine and you can't afford to buy new goddamn tires, buddy? That'd have been my thing. This ass ain't cheap, man.
I mean, yeah, I was giving him like $400 too, $500, and he still had super glue in his tires.
What else have you been addicted to that you've been able to quit? See, for me, I can't kick cigarettes.
Yeah.
I've walked away from a number of
good
things.
One.
Okay, all right. I think
booze.
I think it's the what is the alcohol for me? It's not necessarily that I'd stop drinking alcohol. It's just that I've stopped drinking certain types of alcohol.
But that's the truth of drugs, right? You can say, I do all drugs, but I stopped doing heroin, right? Mm-hmm. I still do cocaine. I do PCP. I smoke crack. I do meth.
Oh, yeah, pick and choose.
So same thing like with alcohol. It's very easy. I'll be like, oh, no. I absolutely won't do that. And people go, man, the willpower. I'm like, bro, I'm crushing whiskey. I said I'm not drinking that.
Look, it's like being California sober.
Yeah,
I know a decent amount of people that don't drink alcohol anymore. They still smoke weed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm talking about like specifically, like I know for a fact that if I drink wine, it's going to ruin my night. It's going to ruin my stomach. I'm going to have acid reflux.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the taste of it. I know for a fact that I've seen people who drink a bottle of wine who look like they got hit by a truck the next day. Where I can almost drink like, I don't know, a half a bottle of whiskey and not look that bad off.
Yeah, not look that bad. Man.
For whatever reason, it's just the sugar, it's the whatever the bubbly crap in it is. I don't know what the hell it is about wine, but that's one of the reasons why if there's a show.
What if it's white wine? Because most of the time people say wine, it's red wine. Red wine has
I'll do champagne or maybe a sparkling rosé or something. You know what I mean? But sure, I'm not going to drink wine. Like if it's red wine I know I should be drinking a red wine with like steak or something nice like that. And and people do that. I just can't do it. So it's like it makes me feel like crap.
I think it's part of the meal. Like I was saying, like I had a buddy take me out for a very nice steak dinner for my birthday. But like he's one of those people, right? Like we had a cocktail to start.
Of course.
I wanted to mix in a beer, as I like a beer during the appetizer. And then right before the steaks came out, like he ordered red wine. So it was like a whole thing. And then we had like I forget what it was. It might have been a grappa, like a digestif at the end. So it was like a process. Now, when we were done, I said, hey,
you're right. Now it's my world, son. I know how that works. Right. I'm going to sit through this, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a delicious dinner.
And I get these things go in a certain order. This is very sophisticated. When we pick up the check, we're going to the dive bar. Mm-hmm. We're doing 3 shots of whiskey and crushing beer, brother. But thank you for everything.
Right.
And also I won't say where I ended up, but I was like, I got to ask you, man. How do you get the Santa hat on top of that bison? He's like, actually, a regular in here knitted it for us. I was like, nice.
I know for a fact that if I'm playing the parenting role in whatever it is, friends, family, whatever, cleaning up vomit, I can guarantee you that 80% of the time that I've cleaned up puke, whether it be in my own bathroom, whether it be in my car, whether it be in my house, it has included wine. Not tequila, Not whiskey. I can smell everything. I know the color of it. I know what you had, and it's always wine.
I know what you had last summer.
Almost batting 100.
I know what you had.
There's 20% of the time, like, it might have been the last shot we did.
Sure.
You weren't drinking wine all night, but I'm telling you, you can smell it. I know that smell.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's like, it's not just me. You know what I mean? It's like anybody that I've ever gone out with.
But why can wine drinkers get away with being drunks more so than anyone else who drinks any other kind of alcohol, right? So again, you order a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning, you get the frowny face, crush on mimosa, whatever the hell. But like when you sit down for dinner, it's like, all right, well, look, I don't care. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, yeah, I'm going to have another shot of Jack. You're on your fifth glass of wine. You're still kind of ahead of me. No offense. Like, you just drank a bottle of wine. And I know you broke it down by glass, and that's how you escape getting the criticism, but it's like, it's about 5.5 glasses of wine per bottle. You've had 5 of them.
It's just
presentation. And then they came over here. Right. That's all I mean. Like, you're hammered. And again, to Miles' point, one of us going to throw up tonight. It ain't going to be me.
I don't want it to be me either, but I'd rather get that stuff out of my stomach than keep it in there.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ricky. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello?
Hola.
Hola.
So what's not for you anymore?
I would say...
Speaking?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, what did you say? We didn't hear you, man.
Oh, my apologies. I would say... Day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So I would say being ADHD, it did not work together.
What did not work with being ADHD?
Methamphetamines.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, even people that don't have ADHD, meth not a good mix with them.
Yeah, they don't recommend it for a ton of people.
How much meth were you doing?
I would say probably about $400 a day.
A day? How were you able to support that habit? I mean, just anybody in general. I mean, how did you come up with that cash? Were you selling it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say
that helps.
Yeah. That is a ton of methamphetamine.
$400 a day. Like, how much meth does $400 buy me? So my understanding is that meth, like crack, is a very cheap drug. So if I give you $400, how much meth are you handing me in return?
So I would say equivalent would be about $600 to $800. I wasn't doing that per day, but that was for my sales to support my habit.
What's
I was going to say, right, I was just like $400 a day.
I was like, meth, good God.
So what happened? When did the switch go off there?
The people that I was hanging out with, and we were on DNR property and watching a meth lab blow up was like, it all kind of like, it snowball effect to that part, and it was like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, so were there people in the lab when it blew up?
Well, can't quite answer that question.
Okay. So, yes.
All right.
Well, I see nothing. So.
I see you. Okay.
There we go. We're not the cops, man. It's all right. We just wanted to know.
I've seen Breaking Bad.
Your friends made it out all right.
Yeah, that's literally all we wanted to know. Were your friends okay? I'm guessing they were not.
No.
Yeah, meth. I was like, doesn't mix with ADHD. It doesn't really mix well with
doesn't
anything.
mix with diabetes. Doesn't mix with life.
Now, this guy or woman, I don't know. If I could reach through our text line, I would strangle him. It says no particular incident, but as I've gotten older, I just can't have a donut without feeling sick afterward. I don't know. Ted and I have this problem all the time. So every once on the morning show, get a bunch of donuts in from whoever. And what they don't eat, and it's usually like half a dozen at least, are still sitting up there. And we're very clear. Like, I'm going to go get a donut. Not only am I going to get a donut, but I'm going to get one now. And then right before the show starts, I'm going to get another one. Yeah. And during one of our commercial breaks, I'm going to eat half of one. I don't lie about it. I don't joke about it. I don't kid about it. Like, I have zero resistance to donuts. Call me Homer Simpson, but like my path to hell, all you'd have to do is lay down donuts. Even if you say, dude, it says hell 30 kilometers. Like, don't care.
Well, you also know they're in there.
And I can't, and it bugs me, man. It's like we'll be sitting in the office, and I know there's donuts in the kitchen. It's not like I can smell them or anything. Just knowing they're there, it's constantly just like, Steve, you know you want to eat me. And it's like, yes, I do. I do want to eat you. I want to come eat you. And by the way, if you do come here and there's donuts up there, if you want to take half a donut, I can live with that. Whoever it is who takes a quarter of a donut, kiss my ass.
That's me.
You son of a bitch, man. Just take half at least.
And that's when I realized a blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimated.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy, an obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.